Hi guys, today I'm going to try to repair an old Hobart welder. It's a Handler 187. It's been sitting around for years. I've never really used it. I don't know how to weld, but I'm trying to learn how. The problem I've got with it is it does weld in terms of putting the electricity through and making an arc and actually even laying down a bead. But the bead is terrible because there's no gas coming through it. There should be shielding gas coming through this tank, through the hose and kind of surrounding the weld. And without that, the weld is really porous and holy. So anyways, I figured out what's going on with it, to a large degree. The gas is supposed to come through this little hose right here. I don't know if you can see that or not. I'll move the camera up a little closer and show that. Anyways, the gas is supposed to come through there and then flow out through the hose. I'm getting gas right there. If I unhook this little tiny supply hose, I can feel the gas pumping through there. So it's working to that degree, but it's not coming through the rest of the hose. So I'm gonna get a new hose and just replace this gun with a new hose. I am going to have to loosen this little knob. I understand that's what holds the gun in. And then the gun should, and I've got to unplug these two little electrical leads because, that's what signals from the trigger of the gun to the machine to feed the wire and send the electricity and send the gas. So I've got to unplug those, and then I should be able just to pull the old gun out. When I discovered I didn't have gas, I actually put a roll of flux core wire on there, which I'm going to have to swap out for solid wire once I want to experiment with the gas. But in the meantime, I'm just cutting off the old wire, loosening the gun, pulling the gun out. This is an old welder. I didn't want to spend a fortune trying to revive it, so I just bought a knockoff brand gun, something called Yes Welder, rather than the Hobart. This was about a third of the price of a replacement Hobart brand gun. These little plastic covers have to come off of those electrical leads. Might just have to break them off. The old gun just had, bare connectors on it, so it should work fine once I pop the plastic off, but with the plastic on there, it won't fit. It was easy to trim those plastic covers off, and as I thought, the bare connectors without the plastic fit just fine in the receptacles on the Hobart. I've swapped the flux core wire with a roll of solid wire. That's of course appropriate for using the shielding gas. Got it fed into the new gun hose, and I'm going to feed it all out here and get the contact tip and nozzle hooked on there. It all, worked fine initially. I didn't have to do any adjustments or had no problem at all with the replacement hose. I'm just making sure the gas is on. I'm going to do a test. I want to see if gas flows without running wire through it. So if I just flip down this little wire field lever, now it won't feed wire when I'm pressing the trigger on the gun, and I'm just going to see if it'll inflate a rubber glove, and if it does, I know my gas is running. There we go. I've got gas. I mentioned that I swapped the flux core wire for solid core. That means I've got to change the polarity of the machine. It's got a little diagram for that, and on this machine, unlike more modern ones, you've actually got to use a wrench to move those two leads around, but it's easy. I've now got the gas flowing through the gun. I cleaned off a little bit of my practice plate so I can compare the weld bead with gas and the old crummy ones without gas. all of this looks pretty ugly, but believe it or not, I am making improvements. This one is the one before I fixed the gas, so that's no gas at all. It's just full of huge holes. Then I ran two with the gas, and you know, there's some holes on this part. That part's pretty good. I'm back to more holes there. You know, a few little holes there, but this part looks pretty good. So, you know, this is where I wanted to get to. It's now not the machine that's screwing up, it's me that's screwing up. And so, you know, now that the machine works, I can, you know, get to some practice in and get better at welding.